Now, on the 3rd is when my keys went missing, right? Right. So I looked around my house first, everywhere I normally am, and even places where I'm not normally going. So this idiot thinks he can break back in when I go for my walk or something, went for 2 that day, and put my keys between the piano keyboard and the book, and that would prove I left them there, or put them there on purpose or something, right? No, it proves he did. Now here's why. I got a money order and came home from Publix. And here it is. It's Publix 1256. The time is 1:11:09 seconds. The date is 10/03/17. Now this is proof, again, that I came home that day with my keys from Publix, like I told you before. Now this one is the one I was going to go back and get because I needed a few more. This one here is for my water bill. It's $45 from the same Publix, 1256. Now, time is 12:25:05. The date is 010/03/17, the same day. Right. Now, the proof is, if I had this one and I knew I needed this one too, right, why would I put my keys anywhere I wouldn't normally find them, right? So he's trying to suggest what? They fell off the piano or my books, that I would sit them down haplessly, not in my normal place on the table or in my bedroom on the dresser. No, I set them for some unusual reason on the keyboard or the book here, right? So that they would fall in the between the book and the piano leg, which would make it difficult to find it, but not impossible if you were looking for it all through your house. Now, like the woman with the coin, who lost her coin and had 100 coins, when you lose something that you know you had, and just got back from Publix earlier that day for this money order around 11 a.m. This is on military time, by the way. And then had to go back to get another money order around 12:57 p.m. Or it would still be 12:57 military time too. All right. Now it could be if I got one after 1300, I can find out if it's true military time or just AM and PM too, right? But I think it's military because I don't see a PM or AM on that. Now, everything, my story checks out. I went to Publix to get a money order before I came home, right? When I came home, I felt dizzy and knew I had to get this money order and was looking for my keys, right? All around the house, as I told the person who took them. And that's all I'm saying, right? Now, I can't prove who it was who came into the house because I can't yet afford a camera service inside the house. But I can start recording my daily routines. I know where my keys are now. Now, I'm not going to tell the asshole because he might steal them again. But again, if they don't turn up and they're missing from where I put them normally, someone obviously took them out my house. Now, if I just got home and was arguing with someone on YouTube, that means some kind of sleeping gas, or someone came to the door and lured me out and knocked me out or something, and I wandered back in the house or something. Something of that nature would have had to have occurred, right? I don't know which one, right? But there's certain ways you might wake up dizzy or feeling dizzy and find things missing from your house. One is a physical assault, and one is a nerve agent or a gas assault. Now, of course, maybe I'm watching too much movies. I don't know. Maybe you don't watch enough. I don't know. But the proof is from the earlier money order, which is for my court. Again, I ran the light, so that's all they charged me for, $89 for running the light. That's why I got that one. This one here is for my water bill. Now, it's really like $52, but this is just $7 off, so I'll catch it up next month. Right? Or something like that. I forget what it was, but I think it's around 50 something. All right. Now, I'm trying to get things together to do all that, and I'll do it soon, but it's only the 9th, so I got a few days to do all that, all right? Now, I got until the 27th to mail this off, so I'll do that. And I'll do this probably tomorrow, or go down there, or whatever. It's only like $50, I'm sure they'll take it, right? But the point is, I got 2 different money orders, one earlier, and then I knew I had to go out and get another one, alright? That's when my keys turned out missing anyway. In between that time. Now, how much time is this difference? Over 2 hours, right? Or 2.5 hours. Let's do the math here. Alright, 11:09 to 12:52. That's over an hour and 41 is 30. Alright, let me get my calculator. 57 from 41, that's all I got to figure out. Now the question is, who is hiring this guy to attack me on Is it Daphne or Salvador? Okay, so it was an hour and 46 minutes, right? Including calling the police and waiting for them to show up and stuff of that nature, right? Now they elected not to take a report, the female did, and I allowed that and let them walk away, right? Because I didn't know if, again, I needed one, because I also called the the Hyundai dealership and things like that, right? Sorry about that, I'm dealing with 2 dealerships and I get them a little bit confused too, right? But that's normal confusion for someone who hears voices and dealing with paranoia. And again, now normal confusion is not me knowing where I put my things in my house, right? And they're turning up missing from the normal places, right? I put it, right? Even if I was to put it on the piano, do you think it would be here or here? Now the piano is about 4 feet, roughly. So if I'm coming in, and I were to put it on the piano, would it be here where it might fall into the books, or would it be here where it's solider and wouldn't fall into the books? Now it could fall off onto the papers on the side or something, or even on the side here. But I know if it was to fall off here, it would be hard to find, right? Because the books are there and the things are there too. And it could fall behind the books, right? That's just logical. And that's the whole point. Now, this doesn't prove who's doing it. All I'm doing is showing Thomas has cameras. Different people could be watching me at different times of the day. That's all that. But whoever did it, and Thomas has cameras, he either turned them off or isn't telling the police what happened. Meaning he's lying to them, maybe. Or when he was out that day, he turned them off, which is very unusual. I don't know. It don't prove anything, but just a hypothesis. like Columbo would get once in a while when trying to figure out, murder. We ain't talking murder here. We're talking about, someone losing their keys and not knowing what happened to them, and then finding them a few days later in the first place he would normally look anyway when looking for them. Because, I don't normally put them here, but I do know what I sit here. And what did I tell the idiot? I went through all the house, the kitchen, the bathrooms, and where I normally am. I know. Did I mention my computer desk? No, but it doesn't mean I didn't look here first. Or didn't look on the ground or around them, because there's papers down there, idiot. Now, the next question they're going to ask you is, who are you working for, right? Thomas, that's your real name. And anyone can get fake IDs, right, Thomas? And give a fake half-assed story that your mom was raped to me. I didn't rape her. Sorry that happened to her. Like I said, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. But the more people you drag down with you trying to prove a lie that never happened, according to Daphne, the only legal person who can witness, you have no proof. You have no proof. And Daphne can't change her testimony 23 years later either. Now, Salvador, might think I did something still. I don't know. But he's the only one who could be still thinking that. Because me and Daphne's family generally dealt with it, right? Right, supposedly. And I'm not excluding Salvador as a possibility, am I? Right. Now, his name is Salvador Blissacetti. And that's why I'm telling you Daphne's name, right? Now, if Daphne had any dirt on me, you think I would be sitting here now? But if someone attacked me on base and we started talking about it, that's another possibility, right? As to why this person knows about it too, right? But that can only happen if I landed the thought, right? Was knocked out as I felt, right? Meaning they knocked me out afterwards, right? And then put my body behind the building. Thinking I was dead, probably too. But either they were wrong, or someone didn't do my pulse right, because I woke up in the ER. That's all I know. And again, it's not to prove it to you, I have amnesia, right? From either the side of the building, or if they hit me in the head, whatever they hit me in the head with. I don't know. And I was in supposedly a car accident, but that one looks just as strange. Now, here are the usual suspects in that one. David Pelham disappeared, so does his friend Johnny Norris, after I dropped Little Roddy off. Right. That's all I know for sure. Yet David Pelham claimed to be at the accident scene. Right. He's not even the police, nor Johnny, but his brother is. See what I mean? The brother of Johnny Norris was a sheriff, right? Now, I don't remember his name, because I didn't deal with him as much as David or Johnny. But David Maddox told me that David Pelham's brother, Matthew, was raped by two bigger guys, and he called them some kind of twins or something, and that David let it happen, right? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And like I said, when you attack someone, you got to go on the limb, right? In case they remember you or someone gives information about it, right? Usually. Well, if I make it back to school and by Tuesday, y'all need to run. Y'all need to run. You know what I mean? And I never seen David Pelham or Johnny Norris again after the car accident. Now, before we were arguing about his girlfriend Lynn and their age difference, which I didn't know that, and she was even dating him until David told me. By the way, Johnny, right? Not that you cared for my reasoning, and the reason why I ran from you at school is we were not supposed to fight on school campus. Simple reason. Not an admission of guilt either, but if you're gonna fight me somewhere fair and square, right? Know what I mean? We both get suspended if we fight at school, idiot. That's the only reason I ran from you, right? Not for fear, but for fear of getting in the fight at school and getting suspended, right? That you caught him wrapped your mouth about when. Right. Now again, I don't know what got me in the house. Maybe little Roddy said, "Oh, come in for a few minutes, you know. Someone wants to talk to you or something," inconspicuously, right? And I didn't know who it was. But then it turned out to be David and Johnny, who I would recognize immediately. And how do I know that Roddy was in the car accident? No fucking injuries at all. How do I know, is someone in the police department or has a brother in the police department? Some of it was covered up, right? You would have to wreck the car if I made it to Vivian's house. Know what I mean? Yet, if we were in the car and wrecked it at the scene, little Roddy would be covered in glass or cut a little bit himself. Dumbass. Now, these are the only main names I know at the time who disappeared after that, too. Because I showed back up within 2 days. Now, I'd used anything I could, though, to talk them out of attacking me, too, including Jesus and shit like that. And the ninjas can only kill a ninja. I know. Right. And I don't know what happened to Johnny's brother in the sheriff's department, but I'm sure he's older now, Mr. Norris, Sheriff Norris, or whatever you are now. I don't know his ranking. But again, it seems like it's involving the police in Chatham, and now Effingham, and now Thomas is involved. Right. That's all I know. That's all I know. And like I said, right, if Johnny and David went on to study deeper into ninjutsu, but I just continued in my naval career, because again, I know, different reasons there. And all I could really learn it from with my pay and stuff like that was books. And I submitted that, right? There's also the spirit of a ninja, right? Which is greater than ninja technical knowledge. See, if you're in the spirit of the Tengu of the ninja warrior, right, you can never die, right? And that's what I mean too, right? Your spirit reincarnates or never dies, according to their belief, right? And again, but we're talking about bodily resurrection, which is more associated with Jesus. Right? And I understood both religions, or both concepts of a living. And I saw the similarities in both. And again, the ninjas also acknowledged the female more than the current Christian theology, which is looking by sight, not by faith. Right. Focuses on the many scriptures talking about God being masculine, and not the few that refers to it as three genders. That's what I mean. Right. Now, it's the third gender, the hidden gender, that you don't even see but once in a while. All right. But certain cultures, Hindu, Greek, Judaism, and Buddhism, know about it. Now, this ain't where you are technically male, but have what's called man boobs either, right? This is a human being that has either one breast as a female and one breast as a male because of being born intersex, which means you have an extra X or an extra XXXY chromosome, right? Now, when you're XXXY, you have a penis, a vagina, and female boobs. You're considered a true hermaphrodite according to Greek culture, or intersex today. And that's the point there too. Now, you have to go to a hospital and check in their medical library to find out about hermaphrodites anyway. Right. They don't tell you about it on the operating table. And when a parent is faced with a child being intersex, they often make the person female, cutting off the penis, or what they consider an enlarged clitoris or an enlarged hood. Even Seth MacFarlane was talking about it on the Orville this last past week when it came on. Right. One species was a species of all males. And one of their children was born a female. Mm-hmm. Well, they surgically correct that and make everyone male. See what I mean? See what I mean? That seems to be what you're doing about God in heaven. Oh, they're all male in heaven. No, we're the image of heaven on earth. If we're male and female, so are they. Now you may wonder, what does it mean when Satan took a third of the part of the heavens? Well, maybe he took most of the male angels. I don't know. And only the androgynous and the females are still in heaven. I don't know. Well, the thing about the androgynous ones is they can also become male again. I know. See, it's three images, right? Androgynous, male, and female. All right. Now, you can bear all three in heaven at one time, too. Jesus did here on the earth in front of Peter, James, and John. But they thought it was Moses and Elijah from their perspective looking towards Jesus, who shone bright as the sun. But Jesus was talking with them face to face, and they were not facing the disciples, but Jesus, right? So only Jesus would know their real identity, you know what I mean? Right. Now, in my theory, they were Jesus' male and female side, right? Or his Trinity of persons. Now, in the Bible, three angels appeared to Abraham in his tent, right? In chapter 18. And then in chapter 19, right? And then in chapter 20, they go on to Sodom and Gomorrah, and one stands yet before him. Well, the two could be his male and female image. But the one is the true image of God, right? Who is not a man, right? Or the Son of Man, right? But a spirit. That's why John said, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed in white linen, girt about the paps with a golden girdle, or mastoles in the Greek. And I keep telling you that means female breast. I didn't write it. Take it up with John. I just understand what it means. And there are three things we don't know. The name of God, right? The form of God, and what time he will return. And that's making us all paranoid, right? That's why I'm trying to help us out a little bit. Right? And that's the most important thing you need to understand before he returns, which is why John mentioned the two witnesses coming before he returns, right? To try and set it back straight, right? And explain to you what's going on, right? Now, like I told you before, the problem isn't gay people who come out of the closet. The problem is gay people who want to stay in the closet and are married. These are bisexual rapists, in my opinion. And what they do is join us or die type mentality, right? David Pelham and Johnny Norris and the two twin brothers probably wanted to rape me or something, right? And again, that was part of the rumors going around the school, right? That I was gay or something, right? Well, no, I was just trying to find the right girl, right? Which I probably told them about the girl I met at the river, Lisa. Things like that. Now, if they brought it up, yeah, I would have had sex with one of Vivian's daughters if the girl consented, right? Right. I wouldn't rape her. Or statutory rape her. Because I was still 16 anyway. That's what I told him to do. What you want me to do? Fuck a girl right in front of you? You know, things like that, right? To prove I'm not gay. I mean, all you gotta do is produce one who wants to be with me, and that's fine. Things like that, right? And again, this is only hearsay, by the way, Johnny or David, right? It's not 100% provable, but what is provable is the continued attacks, right? And who you're getting in on it, right? Now, only Thomas can view this house 24/7, right across the way at 92 Noble Jones Court. Now, again, he drives around the community vehicle for the homeowners association. He moved in after I did, about a year or two. Right? And I had no problems getting along with the people in the neighborhood, and no one was, only the same people were arguing with me on YouTube, right? And I was arguing with them all the way back to 185A Smith Avenue, right? Now, like I told you, some of my videos they took down, right? Even on my older channels, S.E. Lee and Shane Ed Lee. There's numbers in between, but you know what I mean. Right. That's the whole point. So it ain't to prove to you anything, right? If you don't believe me, you don't believe me. Right? But I do know when someone's messing with me, and I ain't done anything abnormal for that day, too. Now, I've been remaining calm for the last week ever since the keys turned up mission and things like that, right? And I still remain calm on that. I investigate like Columbo or Rockford Files or whatever. Peter Falk and James Garner, right? And then Perry Mason, I would watch that. I don't know. And I wasn't so much into Matlock, but again, there was Law and Order. There was also Hill Street Blues. Sometimes I'll watch that. Staying elsewhere, I'll also watch medical shows and Quincy. Right. And then there was a show on HBO where they would investigate murders and things like that. Right. Well, again, in 1987, they came up with DNA profiling. That's why I would know not to do anything with Amanda. Right. Now, I could simulate to a point certain things, but I also have to know when to stop. Right. As long as I stop in time, I'm just messing with them in case whatever's going on is being recorded. Because see, if they're messing with me, I get to test them too. Right. See, if they're trying to endanger the child's life, right, by sending her in there to a paranoid schizophrenic, that's on them, right? Now, Daphne isn't the ringleader. She's just the one they wanted to see what happened if they were to do that. She were to do that, right? So it ain't Daphne who's the problem. It's those who might have put it up to it anyway. They're the big dogs. They wanted me to do something with her. And again, I did not. I wouldn't, because I was aware they could be doing that. Now, what I would do is mess with their minds and pretend to do something, a little odd behavior, but then snap out of the odd behavior like I came to my senses, right? And that's what I mean. And as the possibility I'm telling you, right? It's not as though I ain't been undressed in front of a girl before or didn't have sex with a girl and her child be on the bed next to us, things like that. But I was with the woman. Not the child, the woman. Right? I wanted sex with the woman. Right? Now, she did make me eat her pussy one time and sort of complained about it, but I ate her pussy and we still had sex. Whatever. So, anyway. She begrudgingly fucked me, but she still consented. That's what it means. That's what it means. And if she consented, I talked her into it. Yeah, yeah. And she wanted me to eat her out first, and I did. And then we had the sex again. That was Rose. And she had a daughter who was sleeping in the other bed, and we were in a 2-bedroom apartment. Hotel room. Now, I wasn't doing that to turn the child on. She's not even supposed to be sexually aware yet. The mother, yeah. I wanted her, not the little girl, not the baby in the bed next to us, but the grown-ass woman. You cannot show where I would consciously sleep with a child. Now, like I said, I do remember before Amanda, one girl, when I went to this woman's apartment, did put her crotch in my face. But there again, to do that would be a conspiracy, right? And again, a conspiracy can't be proven, right? And then when I got out of the Navy after the fall, went home on convalescent leave, I met another woman there, right? She too had a daughter, right? But I again read the daughter a bedtime story, had sex with the mother in the kitchen, and went to sleep on the couch. Then I had sex with the mother again when I woke up the next morning. And less and less. That's all I know. Happened, right? Now, each story is different, and I can combine the stories into one and say, yeah, the daughter came in there to me or something, right? And again, the girl came from her bedroom, and I was laying on the floor, and she put her crotch in my face. I couldn't do nothing about that. But thank God the next door neighbor was there, and I told her, hey, look, this is doing that. And she, said, yeah, I tried to get the mom, then she tried to get the mom, and then finally mom made her get up, right? Like I said. That's how I could make up the story about Amanda, right? In various forms coming in there, right? Through various different possibilities, right? Whether she came there to me fully or partially, and different theories on that too, right? But they're just theories. It's not a memory per se. It's a theory. It's a possibility I could have done certain things with her for certain reasons, and certain reasons not to do it. Certain confusions would happen with anyone in that situation. And hindsight, looking back over 23 years and them harassing me about it, is always 2020. But there's two reasons I could undress her, period. One is a bath, one is sex. And I could also undress in front of her if I wanted to take a bath with her but not have sex with her, right? To make her feel comfortable, right? And was trying to figure out what was going on, right? And I don't know what was going on, but I figured out to stop, right? Because I was feeling weird, right? Then I got dressed her after she said Grandma brought her there to Daphne, right? Because I don't know what was going on with that, right? At all. And would be majorly confused, right? With her in there with me. And, that's the truth, right? You don't want to see, right? You want something to be black and white, right? Oh, you wanted sex with her because you licked her one time. Well, how do you know I licked her, right? Right. Daphne was in the bedroom. The child was with me. I was alone, right? Sleeping on the couch for a week. Unless you're what? Secretly recording me. Illegally secretly recording me, by the way. Trying to entrap me. Which means you could have had cameras anywhere in the house, I guess. Above, to the right, left, and in front, right? But that still don't mean you caught me doing anything, right? You know what I mean? You didn't need to. Because see, there's one little key word I used on the old channel you don't want to hear. Simulate. To give you a show. Now, how many times have we heard people simulate sex on TV? Mm-hmm. Now, on the movies, sometimes they fuck. Let's admit it, they do. But on TV, they simulate the sex. To simulate oral sex is not oral sex either. It's to see if the child will let me stick my fat head between her legs like her grandma did. If that's who she associated that with. And not her mom. Which I know Daphne would never do that either. But grandma, I don't know. And like I said, who don't want this getting out? Daphne or grandma. Daphne or grandma. Not Shane. Not Shane. Shane ain't got nothing to be ashamed of if he was playing with the child and the child let him do that to a point. One time. And said grandma showed her that, hypothetically still. Because they can't bring forth a charge, or they would by now. Right. Without entrapping and entrapment becoming involved. Because see, the whole tape has to be played from the time the child comes into the bedroom until I brought her in there to Daphne, right? That's right. And you can't edit it. You can't change it. You can't say what I was thinking in your opinion. Because you don't know. Did she even take a bath that night? Herself? Or does Daphne not remember bathing her? Well, if she didn't bathe her, how do you know that's not why she didn't come in? And I was just seeing what was going on there. And just sticking my tongue out with her a little bit. And then, playing with her. In a childlike manner. Right. And then undressed myself to take a bath with her. Or something like that. But then thought better of it and got dressed for her. And after he showed her that, she said, Grandma. Right. See, nothing can be proven that I was doing anything unusual at 11 p.m. anyway. Right? After 11 p.m. If that's what happened, Now that would also seem like a dreamlike sequence to me after all this time trying to figure it out, right? What you're talking about. Because with the head trauma, 3 weeks later, I again wouldn't remember. All that detail, especially not talking about it until 10 years after on YouTube because of Law and Order SVU. And joking around about it. Now that means what? I admitted to sleeping on the couch. That's all I admitted to. But I said I could have molested her but didn't. Which that's all that shows. Both stories, right? That she came in there and put her vagina in my face. Or that I licked her one time. Right? Simulating it. But not touching it. Right? And went over and undressed myself because I was just trying to figure out if she wanted to do the bathroom or something. And I have been naked in front of the children before. But I didn't know exactly what extent she was in there with me for. But then thought better of it and dressed myself in her. Then I said, well, who showed her that? So I better ask her that. Who showed you that? And she said, Grandma! Right? That would be on tape too, wouldn't it? What would that do for your case? Mr. Director of the NCIS, or Captain Carey, or Commander Asner, or Lieutenant Oates? What would that do for your case? Knowing I was around molestation and molested by my pastor too. Some kind of confusion was going on there, but you don't know what nature it was. Right? Sure. You don't know if it was of a sexual nature or what exactly I was thinking. You won't show me the tape either. And you can't accuse me without the tape, right? Which would show what? Entrapment. You're trying to confuse me further sexually, right? With a 4-year-old who was sort of interacting with me willingly and then said, Grandma showed her that, right? Right. Is that what happened? I don't quite remember, but you're acting like you know exactly what happened, right? Now, what I said could be joking, right? But you still can't know, right? Nor does it mean I didn't really follow the 3 stories afterwards. Nor does it prove anything concrete. Other than that you might have been trying to entrap me. See what I mean? Make me do something like a drug dealer wouldn't normally do, right? And you can't bring the child into my house, me sleeping in one area of the house and her the other. Right? That's privacy rules. I'm sleeping away from them because I'm trying to make it back to base. Right? Daphne can't be awake or she's in on it. Right? And then that brings it to who told her to do it. Right? And again, you didn't get the result you wanted then either. Then you could have set up the 3-story fall by getting the guy to steal my key. That's just another conspiracy theory on my part. Right? Of course. You can't prove this, nor me. That's the point. It's called a NOLA. Right? No one's really innocent in all this. No one's really guilty in all this. It's just an unusual circumstances that don't normally happen. Right? Like with the, running the red light in the manual. Which I haven't driven in 16 years. That can occasionally happen if you got a bad left ankle. That's what I mean. So that's the whole point there, right? And like I said, this is hypothetical. Right? A conspiracy theory from someone who was driven paranoid schizophrenic after being on his shit and on working with him. Right? After getting involved with Christian Fellowship Church and Pastor Davis trying to touch his ass, and Pastor Thomas telling me I wasn't one of the 2 witnesses, which sort of confused me too. Right? Like I said. Am I lying, Pastor Davis or Pastor Thomas? And you can pretend you might can talk for 20 minutes for prison on a Sunday, but there's a fucking line, dumbass! You're not the only one in jail, dumbass! President! Dickhead! And he's the president of the whole church. He's the general pastor of the whole church. He's the one who is Satan's little helper behind the scenes. He would jerk off with sailors and rape them in a hotel room, in my opinion, trying to prove they were gay, right? And blackmail them if they were to tell them. Right? That's where 2020 came in. Right? Does that not make sense? Right? And he could have been the one to put Daphne up to it. I don't know. It's just another theory from someone who was driven crazy but came in fine. Right? Even my mother and my family can tell a bit difference in my behavior before I joined and after. My friends Byron and David won't even hang out with me anymore because I'm not acting the same. I'm acting paranoid and different. Right? And I'm not the same person they knew themselves. Right? That's why David, at least, and Brian wrote me a letter. Right? I try to get married to, but he's a little unresponsive. Right? I guess he has, he's dealing with his dad getting older and his mom too. Right? I don't know. Unless she passed away and didn't tell me that either. But again, that could have happened. Right? I don't wish it on her, but we all live and die. Right? Live and let die. Or live and let live. That's up to you. When you were young and your heart was an open book, you used to say, live and let live, and I didn't. But in this ever-changing world, living makes you give in and cry. Say, live and let die. One a little bit of actual words. I know. Just playing. I know. And that's the point too, right? Someone's trying to set me up for all that. And I knew it, and like with the confrontational different confrontations with Daphne, I tried to find a rational way out of it as best I could. With her blocking my way to the door, I simply picked her up and put her in a bed gently and left the room, right? To leave the argument, right? Because that's better than letting it build. Then she left me stranded in Tennessee. I found a way back home, back to Virginia, right? And then you're suggesting, after she was with Salvador and his girlfriend, that Daphne let the child in the middle of the night after I went to sleep come in there to me. What do you think she's going to say? It never happened? You think? You think? Of course. But I'm still reeling from the 3-story fall. And the mental abuse in the church and on the ship. And they introduced me to this Gnosticism shit on the ship. I found the magazine where? On the ship. So again, who's trying to confuse me? But see, y'all don't fucking read it, do you? Right? I read the shit. I read the shit, and I keep showing you what it means, Not sexually hermaphrodites or male and female, but in the image of God, all three. Almost two from the one, and the two can become the one again too. Right. Now again, the spirit of the male is the rebellious one. And I know at least Satan, in order to tempt Adam and Eve, had to be androgynous. Now, that's the point. That's the final piece of the puzzle, right? That you will understand about the serpent's penis, 12 to 14 inch penis, with boobs of a woman and a vagina underneath, right? Who had sex with Adam and Eve and produced Lilith through Adam and Cain through Eve. Right. And Adam had Abel with Eve too, right? That's what you don't want to see about the stories we're told, right? And all myths trace back to one root: sex, food, or shelter under a tree. Right, Sheena? So I'm the bad guy, huh? Because my shipmates wrote you in my stead. Go ahead, leave that. That's why I had to let you go after 9 months too. Right? And I'll let you go. Same with Daphne, same with Maribel. Because the signs are too coincidental, like she said, to be real. And she didn't want me, someone was making, again, her be with me. Even if she got pregnant by me, it's just one child. It's not important to her, right? Who the father is. I'm just a sperm donor to her at the most. Right? I understand that by Maribel too, right? So that means what? You can't come back to me in the future either. Unless, again, they're just trying to use you as bait again. That's the point. I know all that. They're trying to bait me, right? In certain situations, which are not normal for anyone to find themselves in either. You're sleeping in the separate part of the house and you find the girl in there with you. That's not normal. No mother's going to let her child go in there unattended. And you can't unless you're also watching from above, at least with the light. Get rid of the light or something. And I think I still had the light on and the TV off because I was trying to go to sleep on the couch before she came in there. Now that would be too perfectly timed now, wouldn't it? If I just laid down to sleep and Daphne wasn't awake. But it don't prove anything. I'm a paranoid schizophrenic and you know it by now. And it can get me off, or if I did only light stuff, give me a, little bit of probation maybe. Right. But that's not really a sexual assault of the child, right? If she related to grandma. Doing. So let's say the middle story is more truer than the other two, hypothetically, right? What does that mean? If she said Grandma shared that, the same problem arises for you. Why would she relate that to her grandma, who she was living with for 2 to 3 years? Now, I know Daphne never did that with her, but I don't know Grandma didn't, nor do you. That's the problem there too. You want me, not Grandma, me. Idiot. You can't get me without getting Grandma. She said Grandma was dead. You know that. You know that. That's the whole point to this merry-go-round we're playing. Right? I didn't coach her to do that with me. She was coached before and comfortable with me doing it. Stupid. And said Grandma showed her that. Maybe Grandpa too. If I undressed in front of her. Yeah, think? Yeah, think. Grandma would undress her before giving her a bath. And Grandpa would undress in front of her too, taking his own bath. Right? I don't know if they took a bath together. I can't go beyond that point because I stopped. After realizing, hey, this seems to be going too smoothly. And it's late at night, and whether she had a bath or not, I need to stop. Right? I don't know exactly what's going on here, but this is unusual behavior. That's called temporary insanity anyway. Me trying to figure out the child's behavior while acting a little odd myself and not sure what's going on exactly. And simulating something, again, ain't the same as touching it. Right? Least you die. See, DNA would be proven 100%. You had it in 94. That's the point. So without a DNA swab of her vagina to prove I licked her, even if she says it now, it don't count. It don't count. You didn't get it within the proper time, and she did not call the police because you were already involved with it. NCIS, right? Director or assistant director, whatever you want to call yourself. And then Captain Carey and Captain Asner probably had something to do with it, because I was sort of slipping from their fingers too with my trip to Bethesda, right? Who would have to gain or lose there? Portsmouth. And then there's Anne writing me that letter, which I didn't see until after I was discharged. See what I mean? See what I mean? Until around the time I was discharged, right? That was almost a year later too after that, right? And then I divorced Daphne and things like that and met Mary Beth, right? Another con artist. So it's over. You're right. I letting it all go. You too. Your entrapment didn't work for me the final time. Get over it. Bye.